Hi everyone, my name is Miss Solomon. Welcome back to the Introduction to Flute series. Today we will be talking about the parts of the flute, assembling and disassembling the flute, as well as how to play our first 3 notes. The first step to assembling the flute is opening up the case. The most important thing to remember here is to always open it up the correct way so that we avoid parts of the flute falling out and getting damaged. You'll be able to tell the flute case is facing up if you can see the brand name. Often, the latches will unlatch upward as well, so you can look for that too. Let's go ahead and open our case. Make sure you've got it set down on a flat surface so nothing falls out. There will be 3 parts to your flute. This is the head joint. It's the part we've been practicing making a sound on. This is the body of your flute. It's the longest section and will go in the middle of your flute. Lastly, this is the foot joint. It's the smallest piece and will go on the end of your flute. Let's start putting our flutes together. First, we are going to hold the body of the flute. Now, there are lots of keys here and we want to avoid grabbing and squeezing the keys so that we don't hurt any of them. So with your left hand, hold the part of the flute body that doesn't have many keys. Hold this securely with your left hand, and with your right hand, pick up the head joint. Use a gentle twisting motion to push these 2 pieces together. You don't need to push them all the way together. You can actually leave a couple millimeters of space right there. You're going to want to align these 2 parts by looking down the body of the flute and seeing if these keys line up with the embouchure hole. Those should be right in line with each other. Next, we'll keep holding the flute securely in our left hand, and with our right hand, pick up the foot joint of the flute. Use the same gentle twisting motion to push these 2 parts together. For correct alignment, make sure that this rod of the foot joint here is centered with the last key on the body of the flute. Now that our flute is put together, let's talk about holding position. Starting with the right hand, these 3 fingers will line up with the last 3 keys of the body. So we're going to have pointer finger, middle finger, and ring finger here. Then our pinky is going to go on this key of the foot joint. On the other side, your thumb is going to rest below the body, giving it a little bit more support. You don't want it to come too far forward around. You don't want it to be back too far over here. You want it just nice and flexible and relaxed right on the other side of the body from the rest of your fingers. This is your right hand. For your left hand, we're going to start at the top of the body. We're going to skip this key. First finger is going to go on this one. Skip this key. Second finger goes here. Third finger goes here. Your thumb on this hand is going to rest on this longer key back here. Now, I'm going to kind of cushion the body of the flute in this part of my pointer finger. So it's going to rest right here. So I'll show you one more time. We skip here. 1, skip this one, 2, 3, thumb. And then I let the flute just rest right here in the crook of my index finger to give it a little bit more support. Now, when you play the flute, you don't want to bring yourself to the flute. You're going to want to bring the flute to you. So when you're sitting in the chair, look slightly to your left. Hold the flute in front of you, look at your embouchure hole, bring it up to your face. And this is how we practiced. The lip plate goes between the chin and the bottom lip, just like how we practiced just on the head joint. Now that we know where our fingers go on the flute, let's learn our first 3 notes. They're going to be B, A, and G. Let's start with B. Take a look at the fingering chart on the screen. To play the note B, we're going to have our thumb down on our left hand, as well as our pointer finger. Now remember, we're skipping this top key and we're going to point our pointer finger right there. So we've got thumb and pointer finger on our left hand. For your right hand, it's going to be just the pinky finger on the foot joint. So just 3 fingers down. Remember, we're going to bring the lip plate up to your face, center the embouchure hole below your bottom lip, say and then use the p sound to get a sound out. Remember, you're going to aim your air a few feet in front of you, down on the ground, so that we can get the correct angle. See if you can copy this sound. The next note we're going to learn is A. It's very similar to B. The only difference is we're adding our middle finger on our left hand. So everything is the same. We have our thumb of our left hand. We have the pointer finger of our left hand. We have our pinky on the foot joint of our right hand. Now we're skipping this key, remember, and we're going to add the middle finger. See if you can copy this sound. G is very similar to A. So for A, we have thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, and pinky on the foot joint. For G, we are just adding that ring finger of your left hand. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers down on the left hand, still just that pinky finger down on the right hand. Remember, sit nice and tall, bring the flute to you, copy this sound on G. Congratulations on already learning the first 3 notes on your flute. We can already play a song together. Today we're going to play Hot Cross Buns. It's going to use B, A, and G. Follow the notes on your screen. Feel free to jump in and play along. Here we go. After you play the flute every time, it's important to properly disassemble and to clean your flute to keep it in really good condition. When we take apart the flute, we're going to use the same method we did to put it together. Hold securely with your left hand, and with your right hand, use a gentle twisting motion to remove the head joint. Place that securely in your case, and then use the same gentle twisting motion to remove the foot joint. To clean your flute, you will need a cleaning rod and a thin cloth. Thread the cloth through this hole and cover the end of the cleaning rod with the cloth to protect the inside of your flute. Use the cleaning rod to gently push the cloth through each part of your flute and lightly twist the cloth around to remove moisture from inside the flute. Thank you so much for joining me for our flute lesson about parts of the flute, flute assembly and disassembly, holding the flute, and our first 3 notes. I hope you learned a lot. Be sure to check out the other videos in the Introduction to Flute series. See you next time!